How does the Joker convince so many people to follow him? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda. For a man who is almost completely devoid of any moral compass and is also known for his chaotic and reckless acts and behavior, I'm surprised so many people are willing to even follow the Joker. Number 10. Jokerfish. Fortunately, this one is not a person. I feel like Jokerfish should actually maybe be above our next spot on this list, but we're going to stick to this placement, I think, because it feels weird having these fish higher up on the list, especially considering how ridiculous yet memorable they are in the comics. Jokerfish are mutated fish made to look like the Joker that were to be used in one of his schemes. His plan was basically to copyright his image and protect his weird investment in a line of fish that resembled him, basically wanting to make fish part of his brand, so he wanted to copyright the fish. However, it's not possible to copyright fish, so this didn't work out. The fish are somewhat more menacing than usual fish, and at one point we also see Joker sharks appear in the comics, which are quite literally horrifying. And friends, before we move on to our next spot, if you are loving what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, please go check out our newest channel, Most Amazing Top 10 Anime. Number 9. Gaggy. Gaggy was initially known for being one of the most entertaining henchmen of the Jokers. At least that's what he, once prided himself for being. He didn't have any particular superpowers, but was known for his comedy and his acting skills, mainly using them to cheer up his boss as needed. Gaggy's full name is apparently Gagsworth A. Gagsworthy. Although we haven't seen him for some time in the comics, he did make a surprise appearance not too long ago in the Three Jokers Black Label story. Of course, we still don't really know where this lies in regards to canon, I don't think. But then again, for Gaggy, it wouldn't matter that much anyways, as he does end up killed by a Jokerized shark in this issue, so even if it was canon, he would still be out of the canon again. Number 8. Harley Sinn. Harley Sinn is a former enemy of Harley Quinn who later turns into her ally. However, in the DC Black Label comic Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, Sinn is back to being enemy to Quinn when she decides to join forces with the Joker, Harley Quinn's ex, and now kind of sworn enemy. Harley Quinn has a plan to get back at the Joker by basically emptying his vault, and Sinn is attempting to help him later get Quinn back for this, as well as, just aid him in general criminal schemes and murderous behavior. Harley Sinn here acts as his new girlfriend, who he treats often like his lapdog or like a minor hench. While she is deadly, she's also depicted as being weaker of will and more frazzled at times in this series, which is why we're ranking her a little lower in regards to this Black Label depiction of her. She also gets her butt whooped pretty hard by Quinn in the end here, so yeah. Number 7. Mr. Hammer. Mr. Hammer is one of the named henchmen who belongs to Joker in the video game Arkhamverse. Mr. Hammer initially was raised in a circus. There he performed alongside his brother, as the two of them were conjoined twins. In fact, they were put into the circus to be raised there by their own father, who actually couldn't bring himself to keep them after his wife had died during the process of them being born. After Joker acquired the twins, he decided he should separate them. He got a master surgeon to do this, and both Hammer and his brother Sickle survived the operation. However, only Hammer was drafted to join the Joker, as he didn't really want both of them. And Sickle was going to be killed by Harley Quinn, but instead, she decided to leave him on Penguin's doorstep, who ultimately did recruit him. Hammer doesn't have superpowers and has only one arm, but is considered to be quite strong nonetheless, so definitely not someone you want to mess with. He also looks like super jacked. Number 6. Crime Syndicate Inc. Not that Crime Syndicate from Earth 3, we're talking about the Crime Syndicate of Earth 2, from back in the Joker's Golden Age days. While technically now a different Joker in a different world, back then this was the main continuity. As early as Batman issue number 2, the Joker was going up against Batman and Robin with pals in tow, and this time around they actually went to him to make him their leader instead of him, seeking out accomplices in crime himself. This group, Crime Syndicate Inc., was actually known for being a successful team of criminals, and as their own chief had died, they're basically looking for fresh leadership when they learned the Joker had been captured and was in the hospital. They set out to free him and then made him their leader, also helping him to heal up. Basically, they were like, if we make Joker our leader, he's really smart, he can help us, rob a bunch of people blind, it'll be great. As their leader, the Joker successfully helped them rob a bunch of jewels, but eventually cut them loose to strike out on his own. And in fact, if he'd stayed with them, he probably wouldn't have been caught, at least not yet. That's how good they were at what they did. Number 5. Clayface. Although in the comics, Clayface tends to be be vehemently against the Joker in most cases. In the Arkhamverse video games, he's actually acted as an ally to Batman's nemesis before. Clayface is such an interesting character. I feel like there is so much to him in terms of all the different ways he can be written, presented, and utilized in a narrative. In the case of the Arkhamverse version of the character, he's hired by the Joker. While initially wary of joining forces with him, he does eventually decide to aid the Joker in his master plan in Arkham City. It's even possible in the game that Clayface is using his shape-shifting abilities to act as the Joker's double at times, with clues such as the Joker not appearing to have a skeleton in detective mode, and referring to the Dark Knight as Batman in the game as opposed to the more commonly preferred the Bat or Bats, that point towards Clayface's potential impersonation of his boss. Number 4. Harley Quinn. One of my all-time favorites when it comes to Joker's henchmen, and someone who became wise enough to get out before she ended up dead. Harley Quinzel is generally painted as having an origin linked to Joker. In her Black Label series Harleen, we get a version of her origin story where Joker, choosing not to shoot her, pretty much changes her life, causing her to become obsessed with him. She becomes his therapist, and eventually her infatuation with the Joker leads her to adopting the persona of Harley Quinn, being reborn as his partner and leaving her old life behind. Harley is known for being a force to be reckoned with in the comics. She is extremely athletic, a former gymnast, an acrobat, and is also known for her brilliant mind as well, which in many cases can make her even more deadly to cross paths against. I know I wouldn't want to go up against Harley Quinn. Number 3. Punchline. Ooh, people are gonna give me flack for this, I already know, because I put Punchline above Harley, but let me explain. Punchline also has to be one of my personal favorites when it comes to the henches of Joker, and no, I don't think we have to choose between Punchline and Harley Quinn. They're both great characters, let's take both of them, I say. Although I initially was very skeptical when Punchline first appeared in the comics, I have to admit that Alexis has grown on me over time, and now, I gotta say, I'm a fan. Her name is Alexis K, and she was a college student who began to lose faith in a world that she felt was basically coming down around her and just falling apart, which, to be honest, Alexis, fair, I see that. After being held at gunpoint by the Joker, Alexis thought that his crimes actually served a greater purpose, and was inspired to find him and join him. She began to use poison to kill people in order to get his interest, and it worked. She adopted a new look and persona, going by Punchline, and decided to join him. Despite being new, Punchline does manage to, well, pack a punch when it comes to her power level. In her first fight against Catwoman and Harley Quinn, she manages to best them both, getting Harley alone and then slicing her throat with one of her sharp daggers. Harley does recover and ends up in a rematch with Punchline, where they are shown to be a little bit more evenly matched. But considering that this is Punchline's starting point as a character, I think she ultimately has even more potential than Harley does. And I say that respectfully, as I'm like a huge Harley Quinn fan, so I love Harley Quinn. It's no disrespect to her. Personally, I would love to see Punchline join up with Harley Quinn when she gets a little bit more wise to the fact that, you know, the Joker perhaps isn't as great or smart as she thinks he is, which she's a little bit younger than Harley, so I think she's gonna wise up to that at some point, and then hopefully they can team up together, because that would be awesome. Number 2. Deadshot. Though Deadshot has had some surprisingly intimate connections to Harley Quinn during their time together on the Suicide Squad, he's also been connected to the Joker as well. And I don't just mean during the time when Harley forced him to wear the Joker's face, which was a thing that happened. I mean, he worked for the guy. This all went down during the War of Jokes and Riddles. What was he promised in exchange for joining the Joker side of the war? The opportunity to kill the Bat. However, while Deadshot was sent on a mission to work for the Joker, he also ran into Riddler's deadliest assassin draft, Deathstroke. Instead of focusing on his mission, Deadshot ended up distracted and instead got focused on beating Deathstroke, with the two breaking out into a fight with one another. Their fight was an epic one too, and it actually lasted 5 days. 5 whole days before Batman came in and put an end to it. I don't know about you, but I feel like fighting for an hour would be exhausting. Never mind fighting for 5 days. It's a long time. Number 1. Deathstroke. Deathstroke isn't someone you normally think of when you think Joker henchman. But did you know that he has actually been employed by the Joker before to take on Batman? It is true. While he may have fought against Joker during a war of jokes and riddles, allying himself with the Riddler in hopes of winning the privilege of killing Batman, a similar boon that he has offered a pardon as well as heaps of money during the Joker War. While we initially are led to believe that the designer is the one calling the shots, it's later revealed in Batman Secret Files issue number 3 that Deathstroke is working for both the Joker and the designer in actuality. Deathstroke is known for being one of the most deadly people in the DC universe. He's a master assassin with the healing factor and is also known for his advanced brain, being a tactical genius who can learn things just basically from watching or seeing them once, who also possesses a genius level intellect. So yeah, Deathstroke's pretty OP, I gotta say. Surprisingly, Joker has had some henches that, while not as notorious perhaps as he is, are even, I would say, more powerful than he is. Huh. Thank you so much for watching, that's all for today, but until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube. Bye.